Esteemed guests, today the men and women of the armed forces pay special tribute to Senior Master Sergeant Barbara D. DiPoli on the occasion of her promotion to the rank of Chief Master Sergeant. The presiding official for today's ceremony is Colonel Corey A. Herish, A&G Advisor to the Commander, ATC. Please stand if you are able for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. Thank you, and please be seated. Sharing this special occasion today are many family and friends and special guests. We're extremely honored to have in attendance Sergeant DiPoli's family, which includes her cousins Maurice and Dottie DiPoli. Sergeant DiPoli would also like to welcome our distinguished guests. Please hold all applause to the end. Colonel Colin Coatney, A&G Advisor to the Commander of the 19th Air Force. Colonel Lynn Lee, Command Center Director of NORAD and U.S. NORCOM. Chief Master Sergeant David Callahan, Command Chief, Air National Guard Rainbow Center. Chief Master Sergeant retired Sherry Corral. And all of the other distinguished guests, general officers, senior enlisted, leaders, and extended family and friends join us today, either in person or virtually. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the presiding official for today's ceremony, Colonel Herish.
Welcome everyone, thanks for the introduction. I'm going to stand back here because I wrote so much. I got a lot to say about Barb, but I won't keep you here forever. So for something like 1,000 years, or 10, maybe a million years of military tradition, we've been celebrating promotions, right? Because we celebrate individual achievement in the military. We reward and celebrate individual achievement. However, we all know, and it's right that we should do so, however, we all know that none of us gets here alone. So it's so awesome to have the folks in the room that have meant so much to us, our small AETC CG teammates in the Readiness Center. So it's great to have family and friends that have supported Barb along the way to get to where she is. So first, let me say thank you, all of y'all. That's the plural of y'all. That's English. So I believe Dad is online. We've got cousin Maurice and Dottie. Distinguished guests, thank you all for being here. Awesome. So Chief Master Sergeant is a big deal. It is the 9th and highest enlisted rank by federal law, 1.25%. Of the enlisted force, no more than that to be chief at any one time. I looked it up on Wikipedia last night, so I know it's true. And so then I did a little math, right? So 310,000 or so enlisted members of our enlisted force in the total force, so regular Air Force Guard Reserve, that's maybe just under 4,000 people. You take our smaller chunk of the Guard, maybe 90,000 in the enlisted force. just over 1,000 chiefs across the guard. So, I mean, if you were to go to an NFL game or a baseball game this afternoon, that's like a section, maybe a big section. If you're in a high school football game in Texas, that's a pretty small crowd, actually. Rare company indeed, and well earned. One of the things that stood out to me about Chief DiPoli is her desire, her passion to serve. So 9/11 was an event that dramatically influenced all our lives. And I think, the majority of the civilian population at the time the military was the last thing on their minds, right? Not Barb. Not Barb. She was one of the ones who raised her hand and said, I'll go. And she went. She went right into the United States Army recruiting office and signed up to be a soldier. It's okay. We all make mistakes. She did, and it's testament to her character. After basic military training and tech training, she arrived at Fort Riley, Kansas. That was her first duty station, which isn't too far away from where I grew up, so that's a connection that we didn't know we had until we met. Spent all of 10 days there and then deployed to Iraq for a year. Back home for maybe 6 months and deployed again. You can see it in her bio, but maybe 3.5 years in the Army and 19 months deployed. So it's truly epitomizing her service and foresight. As she was about to separate, a friend said, have you heard about the Air Guard? And she went down the road a little ways, and the 190th Air Refueling Wing in Forbes Field, Kansas, was lucky to have her for the next 8 years of 715 personnel, and then a 302, which is the Field of Education and Training. And I feel like that's where Barb hit her stride. Like, this career field, as Chief Correll knows, is truly about taking care of airmen, both in their technical education and their broader professional military education. And that again, hit her sweet spot as far as her skills and what she cares about. She was recognized for the good work at the 190th and selected to be the Special Assistant to the Air National Guard Command Chief here in the DC area. Spent a total of 4 years here in Andrews before my predecessor, Colonel Lee, hired her to be the Tech Training Liaison Officer at AETC. So that job was not really big enough for Barb, so she became it's a long title, Air National Guard Senior Enlisted Advisor to the AETC Command Chief, tackling many projects along the way. As I was looking through last night, the one that kind of stood out and sort of related to current events is the IAFA visit and the work with them. So IAFA, the Inter-American Air Forces Academy, is at Lackland Air Force Base there in San Antonio. We train a lot of, mostly Latin American, South American, but a lot of different partner nations in an Airman Leadership School, an NCOA Academy, a lot of different technical, including a squadron officer school there. She helped arrange the first Air National Guard seats in ALS and COA to go to IAFA. And many of you know in the room that state partnership program is kind of a big deal, right? California is state partners with Ukraine, and that was in the news a lot. But each one of our 54 states, districts, and territories is partnered with some coalition or some partner nation, and those strategic alliances is what matter. And who knows what benefits that will pay? Who knows what dividends that will pay over the next few years or decades? So, well done. And then lastly, so personal story, just sort of a collection of stories. When Katniss left, Colonel Lee left, and Barb and I had a little bit of overlap while I was her supervisor. We would meet at the Park Club, which is the kind of the Oak Club in the center of the circle in Randolph. And we would sit outside and have lunch under these big live oak trees. And this is where I really began to get an appreciation or a sense of just how much Barb values service. Right? And I really enjoyed those values a lot. And then, just last week she was in San Antonio for a conference, and we got to meet again for lunch to talk about some work stuff, but in air conditioning this time. August is brutal right now. But again, it stood out to me just how much she values service. She spoke about her dad and her influence on her. I won't steal your thunder, I know that is coming up. But then, and slightly personal maybe, but I sense an anxiety, and it's one that I've felt myself, right? It's a fear of, man, how can I live up to this job? How can I live up to the chief? How can I live up to taking care of the airmen? And I felt it too. I felt it in this rank. And it's bottom line is it's a fear of failure. However, Chief, you felt this feeling before. It did not stop you when you walked in to the recruiting office to become a soldier. It didn't stop you when you joined the Guard and cross-trained a couple of different times. It didn't stop you when you took a pretty challenging, I imagine, a pretty challenging role as special assistant to the command chief. And it won't stop you now because, as airmen know and chief know as well as anybody, we only fail if we stop trying. Right? So just keep everything else is just learning. So take care of yourself, take care of the airmen. That's what I told you last week. My final parting words are just they're from a song. So there's a song out there called "Humble and Kind," and I like the last 4 lines of this verse. It may sound like I'm giving you advice, but actually I think this is what you embody, and I think this is advice that you share with everyone else. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget to turn back around. Help the next one in line. Always be humble.
Thank you, Colonel Herish. Will Sergeant DiPoli please come forward and join Colonel Herish? Please stand as Colonel Herish promotes Sergeant DiPoli to the rank of Chief Master Sergeant and directs the publishing of the promotion order. Attention to orders. Special Order P-97. Robert D. DiPoli, ATC, serving on active duty voluntary Title 10 per Title 10 U.S. Code 12310 is ordered to serve in the permanent reserve of the Air Force grade of Commander of Chief Master Sergeant. The date of rank and effective date 15 July 2022. Authority AFI 362502 by the order of the Secretary of the Air Force, signed Keith G. McDonald, Major General, Commander, Air National Guard, Readiness Center. Thank you, Colonel Herish. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Would Marie Sandati please come forward for the placing of the rank insignia?
Do one more.
Thank you, Marie Sandati. Chief Master Sergeant Retired Perot would like to present a Chief's bus on behalf of the ANGRC's Chiefs Group to welcome Chief Master Sergeant DiPoli to the Chiefs ranks.
On behalf of the ANGRC Chiefs Group, welcome to tonight. Today is our
you, Chiefs. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you for the very first time Chief Master Sergeant Barbara D. DiPoli.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you to everyone for attending today. And those that are attending in person that are able to make it here, as well as those that are with us online. I wanted to express my appreciation and acknowledge my family for their encouragement and support. With us today virtually is my dad and his girlfriend Ruth on Facebook. I also wanted to honor my dad and his 27 years of military service. He retired as a Navy chief after 27 years. Also online are my sister, my brother-in-law, Rich, and my niece and nephew, Amanda. I love you all, and I know that you are with me in spirit. I lost my mother in 2009, and I know she was with me today, and come. So I am grateful for the time that I had with her, and mostly just want to make sure I do her proud and become the person. Regardless of what I do, the person that she would want me to be. And I hope that she's proud of the person that I am. In with us today, I would like to say thank you to Maurice and Dottie. I would also like to honor Maurice, who is an Air Force veteran, Vietnam veteran. And I thank you for your service, sir. And I thank you both for your love and your kindness and your welcoming. I did not know Maurice and Dottie until just a few years ago. And now I cannot imagine my life without them. Every time I walk into your house, I feel like I've gone home. And I miss you very much now that I'm down in Montgomery. But I will visit you as often as I can and stay in touch. I actually have a few gifts I'd like to present to Dottie and Maurice. So wearing the Air Force uniform has been the greatest privilege of my life. Anyone in uniform knows that the journey that you take, you never take alone. You have others, you have teachers, leaders, and teammates that help clear the path and showed me what service and leadership look like. Growing up, my mother worked second shift. She worked afternoons through late in the evening, every day. And those precious few hours that she had before her afternoon shift began, she would often be doing things for others. Whether it was volunteering at my school and with a tiresome field trip, running around, taking care of my grandparents, or helping out a friend. She was always happy to do it. She never complained. She truly loved to help people, and she had a cheerful and wholehearted spirit. And she taught me how how to serve cheerfully and wholeheartedly. As a teenager, I often, my dad worked 2 or more jobs, full-time and a part-time job. He was also a night school student. So his days and his weeks were very long as well. Often on the weekends, before dawn, I would hear him leave to go to drill for the Navy Reserves. And he wouldn't return home until Sunday night, and then would start his work week all over again. He loved every second of it. He knew the privilege of wearing the uniform, and he enjoyed every day that he was in the military. He showed me, before I really knew what it meant, what service before self looked like. That selfless service of knowing the privilege of being able to serve, and doing that in spite of whatever tiredness and lack of personal time that he got. He got to serve and wear his uniform, and he knew the privilege of that, and he had taught me the privilege of service. In my military career, I have also been so fortunate to have been a part of amazing teams, where I was a witness of every day a master class in leadership. Starting from the beginning of my Air Force career, the 190th Airfield Wing, my Kansas home, my first Air National Guard home. And they gave me a great foundation, and they also gave me wings. They taught me what it was to be an Air Guardsman, and they also encouraged me to further develop myself and to apply for staff tour. I was fortunate enough to be part of 2 teams for the Air National Guard Command Chief Office, and every day was something different, and it pushed me and it challenged me in a way that I never thought I could achieve. We all made it through, and we were all better because of it. Next, the HRT Dream Team. You taught me what true teamwork was, and we're all so close, and we know what teamwork looks like, so we continue that forward. AETC, working with Colonel Lee, who has been a great mentor and a great leader to me. A1D, where I was privileged to be the formal schools superintendent and the supervisor for the amazing PTM team there. That has been an amazing experience and a learning experience for me. Currently working at the Barnes Center and Global College and with Colonel Herish, and then and the rest of the CG team has been amazing so far. And I look forward to really continuing on and working on behalf of the Air National Guard. Regardless, every position I have been at, I want to say thank you, because you've helped me to where I'm standing today. And I am very grateful for all of the lessons and for your leadership. Putting on the rank of chief is an absolute honor, and it comes with a promise from me. It comes with my promise to keep moving forward, to keep learning, and to keep growing, so I can do my best work on behalf of the Air National Guard, the world's greatest airmen. I am grateful for the faith and the trust placed in me, and I look forward to continuing on the journey. Thank you.
States Armed Forces are proud of Chief DiPoli and look forward to working with her as she takes on new and exciting challenges. Colonel Herish invites everyone to join him in congratulating Chief DiPoli and her family through a receiving line. Also, please join Chief DiPoli and her family for light refreshments immediately following the ceremony, located at the back of the auditorium. Remain standing for the playing of the Air Force song, followed by the departure of the official party. This concludes today's ceremony. Thank you all for attending, and we wish you a pleasant rest of your day.